What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? Big Timer 110 here. And today we'll be checking out a game called Kona. Now this game, it just came out on Stadia. So pretty new. Alright, much better. I can hear myself better there. We're gonna start from the beginning, so let's see how it goes. Okay, so like I said, this is for Stadia. You guys can get it right now for as low as $10. If you subscribe to Pro, and then get it for free.
Carl Faubert sought
or you
information
can buy it and play anytime.
That is to say that ever since he returned from Korea, after having served with the armed forces,
So far, so good.
he had been
Like the
working as a
graphics.
private investigator in Montreal. William Hamilton, a rich industrialist, had gotten in touch with him regarding a simple vandalism issue. Nothing to write home about. Not worth hiring a private eye either, just so he can drive for hours on rough roads. But that's how it had always been. The client pays, Carl gets it done.
Okay, so we got R2 throttle. Oh, okay. And L2 brake.
They had set up to meet
Pretty
at the general
simple.
store, his client's business. Well, actually, the entire village had William Hamilton's name written all over it. When the roads were bad, muddy, or snowed in, it was customary around these parts to close them off. But it was also customary to ignore those signs entirely and drive there anyway.
I gotta say, that game looks pretty dope. Pretty dope. Okay. How often does the road need to be closed to fire to signature was at its gate? That is true. Let's go check it out. What do we have here? What do we have here? Okay. Telephone that don't work. We got a brochure. I'm gonna read that. Okay, what is the back says? Nothing. Some map there. Let's go. Man, this truck is really noisy. Attention.
Still not a soul in sight. There was no point in waiting any longer. Carl had to figure this one out by himself.
We gotta break the lock, guys, so... hold on. What do we have here? Let's see, let's go take a look here. Oh, the graphics are really, really good, guys. I actually do like this game and how it looks, the setting. And it might be an indie title, but man, they've done a hell of a job. Okay, let's get out of here. Even the physics I like. Okay. The only thing I don't like is this truck with all that noise. God.
Hamilton
Damn.
never mentioned a road blocking barrier.
Okay.
Why was it needed here in the back of Beyond? That would, however, be a mystery for another day. Carl had waited long enough for someone to come and raise it. Hamilton is waiting for Carl in the general store. It was time for him to get down to business.
Okay. On the road again.
William Hamilton enjoyed a lavish country house built in the very heart of the northern
Here we
forest.
go.
Not too far from here. local populace was divided when it came to the affluent man. Some saw a wealthy philanthropist dedicated to improving the region's economy. Others an aging Englishman who would do anything to further his fortunes. And those ones hated him enough to go on about scheming against him. Hamilton had recently acquired a few local businesses, but the last straw was the reopening of a mine, which gave rise to a wave of protests and threats from the Cree people. Given these circumstances, Carl reckoned that a good number of people must be feeling compelled to oppose Hamilton in one way or another. So far, only the industrialist's house had been a target, but soon enough, Carl thought, the target would become the man himself.
Oh, what the hell? Shit.
Carl needed to get out of there. The cold and the pain required urgent care.
Oh, fuck. So far, so good. I like it. Okay, what do we have here? Feels like I'm injured, so...
The driver had taken off. It was still best to check it out and leave nothing to chance. Carl needed help.
Ooh, first aid kit for Carl. What is this?
It was a small, locked box engraved with the letters W.H. Carl thought about taking it. Nothing was to be left to chance. This deep in the country, his last hope was to find an abandoned garage or a farm by the roadside. His life depended on it.
Oh yeah. It's a cabin right here, boys. Oh, I can take the lock? Don't mind if I do.
Carl wondered how long he would have to endure this skin-stinging cold.
Not long, Carl. Look what we found. We're rich, boys. We're gonna start a fire. Now we can cook, and now we can stay there. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, can we go in here? Yes, we can.
Even better than he had hoped. Carl Faubert had succeeded once more, and was now on his way to new adventures.
I like that. Oh yeah, more warmness. We need all the warmth we could get, so. Okay, let's go explore out there. This town seems to be so lifeless, like there's nobody living here. Okay, so we gotta address my wounds first. Then we'll think about what's next.
Carl, ever diligent in his work, always carried his log on him, in which he scribbled down thoughts and leads alike during the course of his investigations.
How do we access the first aid kit? That's the flashlight. Okay. There we go. Boom. Okay. So now that we took in the med kit, now we can probably go further and explore. What? Somebody put a chain on the tire, so let's see if I can get it out. Oh yeah. Let's get out of here.
Spread out on a few acres of untouched forest, bellowing caribou, everlasting snow, and undefiled lakes, the Manistan region was no tourist hub. It was said to have been populated for millennia by Cree people, and ever since the industrial era, by the metal mining industry. Was running on fumes. Good thing that the general store was close by.
Ooh. Let's try to just see if it would crash, and we do crash, so do not try that. It's another truck here.
The milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit.
What the?
Carl had no trouble recognizing his employer. He had been killed. There was no need to be a detective to figure that out. But only a detective could have noticed that the killer had to have been very close, that the fatal blow had been given before the victim even realized. Carl felt a chill down his spine and had a terrifying realization. If Hamilton was dead, then who was going to pay him?
Seems there was a struggle. Oh, what?
An explosion suddenly occurred outside. The snowstorm pummeled everything in its path. Carl was not surprised when he heard no tone. Carl knew that Gilles Lachance was in charge of the general store. That made him one of Hamilton's employees. A very angry employee, as Carl could plainly see.
Okay. Punch the price. 2 numbers minimum. Press sale. Let's go ahead and try it. Let's see. Canadian money. It's like free money.
According to that log, it seemed like the whole village owed some money to the general store. Carl was far more interested in the bunch of nearby addresses he had just gotten his hands on, though.
Okay, we got some wine. We got some wine.
The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time. The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time. The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time. Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something from his military training. Wolves always stay away from populated areas. Wait, was it about bears?
Oh yeah, we got some more warmth.
The crowbar was stuck under the lift. Notwithstanding Carl's imposing stature, car lifting wasn't part of his skill set yet.
Heat up for a little bit. So my brain was going down already. Okay, let's see.
Hate was in the air. Seems like some villagers barely tolerated each other. The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time. Leaving with an empty tank would be a death warrant. Carl had to refuel. The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store. The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store. Something fell to the bottom of the box. The murder weapon. What was that doing there, Carl wondered. Hamilton must have been determined to keep some information secret to post this key. Shame he got unlucky.
Wow.
Everything made sense now. Poor Hamilton's denunciation was interrupted, and he figured it would be best to lock everything up and send the key to his correspondent, who would receive the box later on. Clever, but not enough. That's what happens to ordinary people playing spy.
Can't press the button. Leaving with an empty tank would be a death warrant. Carl had to refuel. The crowbar was stuck under the lift. Notwithstanding Carl's imposing stature, car lifting wasn't part of his skill set yet. Given the circumstances, leaving with an empty tank would be a death warrant. Carl had to refuel. The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store.
The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time.
Okay. Why is it too dark? There you go.
Amateur hunters showing some pride at having killed a nice pelted beast. With men like this roaming the area, wolves would become extinct within 10 years, Carl thought. A radiator without power is as good as a wood stove without logs.
Well, guys, I think I've had enough for today. I like the game. It's just that it's too late, and I really need to take a little break. But that doesn't mean that we're done with Kona, because I'll be right back later on today. So, with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys later in the next video.